Hello, and welcome to Mom and Dad Magic Box, the show where we bring together all stakeholders in our children's education. I'm Isaac Carmignani. In keeping with the spirit of bringing together as many stakeholders as possible, for the next 2 episodes, we are going to be highlighting the Google On-Air Education Conference that took place recently. It brought together educators and specialists and professionals and panelists from all over the world. We're going to try and boil down the essence of that conference into about 40 minutes in 2 episodes. We hope you'll join us. But first, the headlines for this week. Mayor Bill de Blasio and Chancellor Carmen Farina recently announced that 64 more schools will become Progressive Redesign Opportunity Schools for Excellence, or PROS schools, for the 2015-2016 school year, allowing them to suspend department and union rules to innovate new ways to reach students. The PROS program is currently in its first year and already includes 62 elementary, middle, and high schools. With this latest cohort, the program is ahead of schedule and nearly 2/3 of the way towards its target of spurring innovation at 200 schools. What is the PROS program? Well, the PROS program is made possible through new contracts with the United Federation of Teachers and the Council of School Supervisors and Administrators, and it has created an opportunity to experiment at the school level in ways traditionally blocked by department or union rules. Schools are using the PROS program to adopt some of the most innovative education practices emerging from the grassroots, from charter schools and other places, like lengthening their school days, combining subjects to deepen students' understanding of relationships between, say, science and math, and replacing rigid student-teacher ratios with more flexible ones. This can allow for advanced lecture-style classes that can prepare students for college, as well as small group breakout sessions to help struggling students. Mayor de Blasio had this to say: "Our public schools have educators and parents hungry to innovate new ways to reach their students. The reforms we are seeing through the PROS program would have been unthinkable in a district school just a year or 2 ago, especially at this scale. We are unlocking new teaching practices that we can learn from and bring to more and more students across the city," said the mayor, end quote. Now, there are some who feel that the PROS schools are limited in the changes that they can make and that progress will be slow. We will see how this unfolds and look forward to updating you on it as it progresses. Chancellor Carmen Farina joined city officials at the Museum of the Moving Image to launch the program called Teen Thursdays. This is a new after-school initiative to enable students at middle schools across the city to take advantage of the rich learning opportunities available through local cultural institutions. The initiative is supported by Mayor de Blasio's and the Chancellor's plan to strengthen middle schools and offer after-school programs to all middle schoolers in the city. Increased access to rich educational after-school programs in middle schools, such as Teen Thursdays, will increase, hopefully, student achievement and help create safe environments for the city's youth. The pilot partnership features collaborations between 5 schools and 5 cultural institutions in every borough. Schools and their partner institutions will utilize experiential approaches to teach American history through after-school visits to cultural institutions. And now, for the Google On-Air Education Conference. So what we are going to do here is first let the folks at Google introduce it, explain to us what it is. We'll get a brief statement from the First Lady, and then we are going to just clip out and highlight things that we thought were most educational and informative for you, our audience. This is by no means comprehensive, but this conference is available online, both on YouTube and on Google. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Education on Air. My name is Tia Lendo, and I'm from the Google for Education team. Over the course of the next 2 days, we'll be talking about practical innovation to improve education. So what do I mean by practical innovation? I mean tools and techniques that you can put into practice immediately, whether you're in a classroom or a home, whether you're kicking off a longer-term project. Practical innovation. Why is that the focus? It's because you told us you wanted it to be the focus. We surveyed thousands of you using social media, educators, students, citizens, and you told us you wanted to hear about two things: how to innovate in schools, but how to do so practically. And practical innovation is something we think a lot about here at Google too. So we've asked all of our speakers for the next 2 days to inspire and share stories, yes, but to make sure they focus on the practical side of making change. Our moderator for today is Jill Bennett. She'll be asking questions to some of the keynote speakers and to the panel members. And some of the questions she's going to pose are yours. I'm now going to turn it over to a very special guest.
Hello, everyone, and happy Teacher Appreciation Week. And thank you for your extraordinary work on behalf of our young people. Now, I know your jobs are not easy. I know that the hours are long and the pay isn't what it should be. But in the face of so many challenges and constraints, you all just dig deeper and work harder because you know that every child is capable of learning. And you're determined to prepare all your students to succeed in your classroom and beyond. And at a time when more and more jobs in this country require a good education, your work couldn't be more important. That's why I started Reach Higher. It's a nationwide initiative to inspire all our young people to complete their education past high school, whether that's at a 2-year college, a 4-year college, or by getting some professional training. And I hope that every single one of you will join us in this effort. Just go to reachhigher.gov to see how you can get involved. I hope you enjoy the rest of your conference, and I look forward to working with you to give all our young people the bright futures they so richly deserve. Thanks so much.
In your classroom or in your home, you might have the future First Lady or First Gentleman, a future Prime Minister, an engineer, a teacher, a doctor, doubtless students who will have jobs that don't even exist yet. We hope that you enjoy Education on Air and that you get some inspiration and some practical ideas that help you support your students no matter what their dreams may be.
If I could solve one problem in the world, it would probably be world hunger. Once basic needs are out of the way, people can expand and learn more things instead of having to worry about basic needs.
My dream is for education to be accessible to all on a global scale. The technology is there. I believe we just need to make it more widely available to ensure that people of all backgrounds and beliefs have access to the tools and equipment necessary to have the best chance possible in their lives.
I would make people stop using trees for paper because if all the trees are used up, what are you going to use for paper?
So if I could solve a problem in the world, it would be greed. Most of the problems in the world are from people that want more than what they should have, or they want more that belongs to other people.
I would probably solve the continuing discrimination that goes on against girls to get an education. I find it ridiculous that girls in some countries have so many barriers to their own education.
I would solve bullying. I think if people just stop being mean to each other, the world will be happy. I would. Everybody be happy.
Hello, I'm Jill Bennett. The question is, how do we prepare the students of today to be the digital leaders of tomorrow? Google commissioned the Economist Intelligence Unit to take a look at exactly what skills we need to be teaching our students today to better prepare them for the future.
Evolving business needs, technological advances and new work structures are redefining valuable skills for the future. Problem solving, teamworking, and communication are the most needed skills in the workplace, according to surveys of executives, teachers, and students by the Economist Intelligence Unit. But education systems aren't providing enough of these 21st century skills, and over half of businesses say a skills gap is hindering their performance. Nurturing skills of the future places new demands on teachers, who may not have the tools required to lead a more interactive class. Nearly half of them say the curriculum is too rigid to allow time for wider skills to be fostered. Meanwhile, students are becoming more independent, gathering information by themselves, according to 62% of teachers. Education systems seem to be struggling to keep up with the pace of technological change. Only 28% of 11 to 17-year-olds say their school is very good at using technology in lessons. And over 30% of teachers would like further training in digital literacy. Employers feel they should play a more active role in deciding what students are taught. They list improved access to company schemes or internships as the educational change which would most benefit their business. Countries all over the world, such as Bangladesh, Singapore and New Zealand, are devising innovative approaches to teaching and learning. As one expert puts it, ensuring students leave school with the ability to learn will prepare them for a world not yet known.
According to Sean Rush, who's the president and CEO of Junior Achievement Worldwide, an organization that helps teach entrepreneurship in schools, the difficulty to teach a wider range of skills reflects a lack of innovation in the system as much as a limited number of hours in the day. He thinks that the best way to teach 21st century skills is to embed them in the curriculum, as opposed to bolting them on as additional subjects which might require more time. So if you want to foster oral communication skills, for example, holding a debate in the context of a history lesson would be much more lively than in isolation. A New Zealand-based program called the Manaya Kalani Education Trust is teaching 21st century skills in one of Auckland's most disadvantaged communities. It supports parents to buy a digital device, such as a tablet, for their child, and provides them with Wi-Fi access both at home and at school to allow students to follow an ongoing learning program in their own time, thus extending the learning day. Families still have to pay a small fee for the device, ensuring that they take a positive decision to support their child's learning throughout the program. Meanwhile, the schools are encouraged to adopt teaching techniques which promote group discussion and critical thinking skills. It's impossible to say what challenges will face students or what the workplace of the future will look like. The traditional classroom with rote learning at its core has had its day. Education must therefore concern itself more than ever with the development of skills to interrogate knowledge, to find it for oneself, and to respond to rapidly changing situations. Thank you.
With that, I want to bring in Joni Kongnäs-Niemi. He is a special advisor to the Ministry of Education and Culture in Finland. And if you have not seen the headlines about the school systems in Finland, they're consistently recognized as one of the top school systems in the world.
Hi, happy to join you from Helsinki, sunny Helsinki. I tried to build up some ideas on the top of what we just saw and heard. And it's not an easy task, but I will focus on two important aspects. First, I will discuss the importance of having a big picture and understanding that. Then I will build up on the future skills, and then I will end my short presentation on some of the lessons or questions that we've had when we've had many visitors coming to Finland, and I will share some of the ideas how we've responded to that. In Finland, the main mechanism for steering education is through national core curricula. We do that in 10-year circles or cycles, and somebody says that we do it so that we can keep politicians a little bit away from the process and we can keep it more independent. The process is very creative and very collaborative. We involve in the designing of the national core curricula all the teachers, politicians, experts, teachers, parents, and also students, just to build on a shared view what the education should and could look like in the future. And this process is done in two levels. It's done in the national level, but also on the local level. And I think that's quite unique because we don't have any expert group that has closed door and closed windows when they prepare these documents. So it's constantly exchanged between all the teachers and the experts finalizing the document. What it means when the world is so unpredictable. I call that all what we need, or the thing that we need the most is learning. I don't know if you've heard the term before. Actually, I've invented it by myself. It means that learning to learn so that learning happens. And that involves lots of skills, will, motivation, and purpose for what you're doing. From teacher's point of view, that means that the teacher is not controlling the learning, but more like supporting and being more proactive with the students. It's also a motivational issue, and you end up co-learn with students. That's what the Finnish teachers are doing. And from a student's point of view, it means that learning is not remembering. It's more on understanding. It's not about having the right answers and being afraid of failing something. We all fail sometimes. But learning is about empowering yourself. Do you punish your teachers if they don't follow the curricula? And we say that no, of course not, because they themselves have built the understanding for that. We might have less homework, less class hours, we keep breaks between the classes, and that all helps to learn new things. Teachers in Finland are highly valued, and we want to keep it so. They are the professionals of learning. Keep your focus on the big picture, help them to learn. Learning to learn so that learning really happens, and value your teachers. Thank you.
Actually change the curriculum every 10 years, which is fantastic. I'm sure that's the envy of many countries and school systems out there, that you can adapt so quickly. And what's the advantage to that? I mean, certainly that you can stay ahead of the curve, I would imagine.
It takes approximately 10 years to implement your new ideas, make a very big, broad, systematic change.
Terrific. Thank you, Joni. And
I am absolutely learning all the skills that I need for a future job. Those skills include collaboration with others, communication with my peers and managers, and the capability to set and achieve goals.
Yes, I do think I'm learning all the skills I need because they're teaching me how to code. So if I want to be a teacher that teaches coding and stuff like that, I know how to code.
I do not think we're learning the stuff that we need to learn because they don't really prepare us to go into the real world. They don't prepare us how to, or teach us how to pay our taxes, how to pay our bills, or our electricity bills, or water bills. And so they're just kind of just throwing us out there.
I do think I am learning the skills that I need because to become a doctor, I need to learn about the human body and science and know about the human body.
Really, you're learning the basics and probably the most important stuff you will be using. It's not like you're jumping ahead to the complex stuff.
Our future jobs may not even exist yet, and with the rate of progression of technology, who really knows what careers may be available in the future? However, I do believe that life skills of solving problems, communicating, and pushing personal boundaries will always be important.
Let's start with this. You believe that we need to focus on teaching mindsets, not skills. Can you give an example of that?
That skills, they can become obsolete. Skills are generally have a finite time period in which they can be useful or applied. And if you look at the way we learn and the way we could potentially learn, and more importantly, what we could, the culture or the environment that we could have our students in, is focusing on the mindset. And the three big areas of the mindset that I have referred to in the TEDx talk, and I generally refer to in conversations with that of an explorer, an entrepreneur, or an engineer. And
Jamie, I want to toss one to you. I know that you cringe when people ask your children, what do you want to do when you grow up? Because you want the question to be centered around problem solving. What problem do you want to solve? What are the skills and abilities you need to get there?
We've identified a couple of times already this morning that there's a good chance that the job doesn't exist yet, that there's a good chance that we don't know what the problems are that we're going to solve. So we have to teach our kids how to go through a problem-solving process. So instead of asking kids what you want to be when you grow up, we should be asking our kids what problem you want to solve. And then the follow-up question is, what do you think the knowledge, skills, and abilities are to solve that problem? And where can you get those knowledge, skills, and abilities?
And that's it for this week's highlights of the Google On-Air Education Conference. Tune in to our next edition to go in a little deeper into the conference. Now we bring you to our App of the Week, our Community Program of the Week, and our student performance by the students at Our Lady of Lourdes West Islip for their Spanish class. We hope you'll enjoy it. So for our community program, we have started to feature museums, and today we are talking about the New York Hall of Science. It is an excellent Hall of Science in Corona, Queens, with a vast array of programs, as you can see on your screen, and they even do Night at the Museum with certain middle schools in the community. We hope you check it out, and the address is up on your screen. It's in Corona, Queens, near the Grand Central Parkway. For our App of the Week, we bring you to Class Dojo, which is an app that allows teachers to actually take over classrooms and manage them digitally and to stitch in parental involvement, engagement, and communication. For further information, we give you the folks at Class Dojo.
Welcome to Class Dojo. We thought it would be helpful to share a few ideas for how you can start using Class Dojo this week. Use it on your phone or tablet in class to encourage positive behaviours like participation or teamwork. Some teachers show Class Dojo to the whole class so students can see how they're doing. You can use it to set up a reward system too. You can call on students randomly or encourage the whole class. You can even use it outside of the classroom. Most teachers give at least 10 positive points each day. The most important thing to do is to invite parents right away. You can do that by printing and sending home invitations, or by inviting parents via email or SMS. You'll be able to instantly message parents, and they'll love receiving Class Dojo reports. Teachers say it makes their classroom much better once they invite parents to Class Dojo, and parents love it too.
We're no strangers to Spanish. The teacher knows the rules, well, so do we. Our play progress is what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. If you ask me what I am doing, yo soy trabajando, ya le algo, generando. El rey está cantando, estamos yo, tú, él, ella es de nosotros, ella, ustedes. We know Spanish for so long, your brain's been aching, but You're too shy to say it. You don't know what's been going on. No way is that coming. La caída. Use these words as subjects in your sentences. Like we said, it's aprendiendo. Don't let ER go. Then you're addendo. Don't let IR go. Then addiendo. This is in the line. It's to help you.